Hello and welcome to this foundation section. Today we're going to discover what cloud computing is. In this tutorial, we're going to cover three exciting parts. An overview of cloud computing, 5 characteristics, and 6 advantages. Well, to be fair, the first part is exciting. The second two are a little bit boring, but they are necessary for the exam, so we're going to cover them nonetheless. Okay, so here we go. What is cloud computing? Well, imagine that you work for a company that wants to set up its own infrastructure, IT infrastructure. Well, it will need servers, it will need electricity, it will need cooling, it will need a physical space, physical security, it will need maintenance, and all of these things cost money. Now, imagine instead it outsources all of this to a cloud provider, whether it's AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. Now, it no longer has to worry about any of these things. It can deploy infrastructure whenever it wants. It can scale it up and scale it down, pay for only what it's using. And moreover, because a lot of other companies use these cloud services, our company now benefits from economies of scale and it pays a much smaller amount. So there are lots of advantages for using cloud computing. Now, the way our slides are structured is there'll be text, but we don't need to read through it. If you'd like to read through it, you can pause and read through it here, or you can also find this text in your guide that comes or exam preparation guide that comes with this course, so you can find the text there and read through it there as well. Now let's move on to the 5 characteristics of cloud computing. So they come from the definitions of cloud computing, this publication by the National Institute of Standards and Technology. And why I say that this part is going to be boring is because we're going to be looking through text, and we don't have many text slides in this course, but this is one of them. Unfortunately, we have to go through it because this is important for the exam. So first characteristic is on-demand self-service, meaning that users can quickly provision and release resources when needed without the need for human intervention. Number 2 is broad network access. Resources can be accessed from anywhere, basically, as long as you have an internet connection and a web browser. Number 3 is multi-tenancy and resource pooling. It has 2 parts. Resources are pooled together and allocated dynamically to users as needed. Pretty straightforward. And multi-tenancy basically means that you and other users will be using the same infrastructure, but it is your data is still going to be confidential, it's still going to be secure, and other users won't be able to see it. Rapid elasticity means resources can be added or removed quickly to meet changing demands, and measured service means usage of resources is monitored, reported, and customers are only charged for what they use. So as long as a cloud provider meets these 5 definitions or 5 characteristics, then it's considered to be cloud computing. Very important to know. And the second part of today, the second text part, is the 6 advantages. So first one is you trade fixed expenses or CapEx for variable expenses or operational expense, OpEx. Basically, instead of paying upfront large amounts of money and buying physical servers and putting them in your server room, you can now just pay only an expense whenever you need to use a server in the cloud. You don't need to pay anything upfront, larger amounts of money. Number 2 is you benefit from massive economies of scale, something we've already discussed. Number 3, you stop guessing capacity. It's very easy to scale in and out. Imagine in the past, you would have to have a big server, and then when you want to 10x the number of customers you have, you'd have to buy 10x the number of servers. Whereas now, at a flick of a switch, you can have more servers in the cloud or less servers in the cloud. You don't need to guess how much you will actually need to be using. Now, next one is increased speed and agility. It's very quick to deploy new resources. The next one, 5, is you stop spending money on running and maintaining data centers. So this is done by the cloud provider. And the last one is go global in minutes. Basically low latency for your customers wherever they are. So there you go. That's the 6 advantages of cloud computing. We also discussed the 5 characteristics of cloud computing and what cloud computing is in a nutshell. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I look forward to seeing you back here next time. And until then, enjoy the cloud.